Okay, you guys, I'm seeing a few people seem to be a little bit confused about where the alternate perpetrator information came from, so let's go ahead and just clear everything up now. Hey guys, this is Jules with True Crime Reactions. Disclaimer.
Everything stated in this video is my opinion and my opinion only. And just like everything else in these cases we discuss here on this channel, everything is alleged.
Okay, like I said, we've had a little bit of confusion, it seems, in the comments and just in stuff I'm seeing on Twitter, a couple of emails that I've gotten. There seems to be some confusion on where the alternate perp information actually came from, and it's both sides of the fence. Of course, there's some people coming over here and just saying idiotic things like, oh, how are all you pro-burgers feeling now that he apparently knows who else was involved? Doesn't that mean that he's guilty? Ha ha ha. Okay, but then we have other people that are like, how would he know anyone else that was involved unless he's actually involved in something? So what are we supposed to think now? Okay, well, let me just go ahead and clear this up for both sides and for anyone else who might have some sort of misconception on what's actually happening here. We didn't hear about any alternate perp information until the hearing on April the 9th. Ann Taylor stood up in court and said this.
Because we've had a little bit over 2 years to work on that. Not a full 2 years because we haven't had that discovery for the full 2 years. But there's quite a bit that I haven't looked at. I don't have an expert giving me even a report. We're not completed with that. I think I've read most of the police reports in this case, but I haven't read the thousands and thousands and thousands of tips that came in on this case. Don't think they're all not relevant though. Recently, we came across a tip just in trying to work through some of these issues. We came across a tip that would appear to be an alternate suspect, and we're trying to work through that as rapidly as we can. It was quite a surprise to come up with that. There's got to be more in there that I need to know. We were disclosed a bunch of email communication between different law enforcement officers, different lab personnel. I probably have read about half of those by now, and different parts of our team have read different parts of it.
So that means that just like the information that the defense attorneys for Richard Allen fought about in court and, up until Gull did what she did, it's all based on the discovery handed to them by the state. It's in the tips that were actually turned in for this case, and there was over 13,000, I believe is what was said. That might be incorrect, but I think it's around that, and that's a lot. That's a lot of information, and that's probably not even accurate. There's probably more, honestly, because there's multiple agencies that collected tips, and stuff probably continue to come in even after the fact. And I'm pretty sure even today stuff still comes in, and they have to do their due diligence. They have to look at everything. But this alternate information did not come from Bryan Kohberger knowing who was involved or giving anyone names or anything like that. It's coming from the tips that were handed over to the defense in the discovery from the state. Also, I'm going to replay just a small portion of what I played earlier. Watch Jennings and Thompson. Just watch.
We were disclosed a bunch of email communication between different law enforcement officers, different lab personnel. I probably have read about half of those by now, and different parts of our team have read different parts of it.
See, that's interesting. So what I'm seeing there is probably being like, what is she talking about? And then being like, I don't know. And then the other guy, over here on the side is just like, ooh, what are they talking about? Oh gosh, here we go. It's probably going to be a whole thing. That's just how I sort of like heard their voices in my head. But again, this isn't about, being right or wrong. I just wanted to get the issues of misconception, misunderstanding out of the way, because the important thing here is to know the facts. And there's a huge difference in Bryan handing over a name and them getting another suspect from discovery. Ginormous freaking difference. And that needed to be clarified, which again was said in court that it came from the state. I'm just going to play the clip one more time.
Recently, we came across a tip just in trying to work through some of these issues. We came across a tip that would appear to be an alternate suspect. And we're trying to work through that as rapidly as we can. It was quite a surprise to come up with that. There's got to be more in there that I need to know.
Okay. Again, that's all that needed to be said, was what she said in court to clear up that entire thing. Now I'm going to go ahead and post this right now. Let me see what time it is. It's about 4:25-ish on my phone. I'm going to try to have this out before 5 o'clock. I'll be going live tonight. I'll have a link for that live down in the description box. We're going to be going over the interview that Steve Goncalves did with Ashley Banfield on her personal channel now that the NBC Dateline special is done. There was a lot of information that Steve Goncalves came out and talked about on the Drunk Turkey Show, on News Nation, on Ashley Banfield's personal channel, and then over on the interview room with Chris McDonough. That was pretty much verbatim all the stuff that came out during the Dateline special. It's almost like he was on a round of prequels. It's very odd. So I wanted to go back over it. I know most of you guys have watched it. I've watched the majority of it. I haven't gotten all the way to the end of it because, documents, the hearing, facts have been coming out. So most of this towards the end, it's going to be my first time finishing the whole thing. But I want to go through and I want to see how he addresses certain things, especially when it comes to the door being closed and the whole situation with Hunter. I mean, to be honest, literally it feels like Hunter is just sort of being thrown under the bus by everyone. Like, I feel like there was no excuse whatsoever for the 8-hour delay in the 911 call. Dylan called over people so that they can be holding the majority of the weight for the discoveries of what happened to the other 4. And then we have Hunter being basically thrown under the bus by the Goncalveses early on with this whole thing about the door being closed. And they're trying to say that it's him that told them that story. And Steve's not really taking any responsibility whatsoever. Like, not even really. He's just not. He's not taking any responsibility whatsoever for them being the ones that came out and told that story. They're blaming everybody else. He's literally blaming the state for the reason why he's coming out and saying the things that he's saying, because they're not talking to them. They're not telling them things that they can actually come out and say that's accurate. So he's putting blame everywhere but where it needs to be. And it's just interesting. Like I said, humans are interesting. So we're going to go over that tonight and see, how it feels now that the NBC episode has come out. So again, I'll have a link for that down in the description box. So I guess just let me know how you guys are feeling about the alternate perp information, and who do you think it might be? Do you think it's going to be a name that we've heard already, or do you think it's going to be something so left field that we didn't see it coming? Let me know how you guys are feeling about it down in the comments. If you like the way that I present this information and give my opinion, please don't forget to leave a like on the way out. Subscribe to the channel if you are not subscribed already, and please don't forget to make sure that that notification bell is set to all so you don't miss any of my rants, reviews, reactions, updates, or deep dives. See y'all.